Royal Air Force Coastal Command and the US and Canadian Air Forces. This was and actually the Australian forces as well in the South Pacific. This was certainly one of the most versatile aeroplanes of its breed. That huge long wing is basically hollow inside. It's a flying fuel tank which let the aircraft make some immense flights. Well, it's the military career. The longest commercial flights in terms of time aloft still ever made in aviation history were made by Catalinas. Between 1943 and 1945, Qantas Airlines flew weekly between Perth and Colombo in the Indian Ocean, 3,592 nautical miles, and the flights took between 28 and 32 hours in the air. They were known as the double sunrise flights, as the passengers saw two sunrises on every flight.
Here we see the wingtip floats extended. And you can also get a good view there of the fuselage side blisters, which in the case of this particular example are slightly oversized. Those on service Catalinas would have been rather smaller and of course provided the opportunity for housing. The individual exploits of different Catalina operators throughout wartime were legion.
Catalina would have carried 3 30-cal machine guns, 2 in the nose turret, 1 in a ventral hatch in the tail, and then 2 50-caliber machine guns, 1 in each of those waist blisters. It also would have carried anything up to 4,000 pounds of bombs or depth charges or even torpedoes. But the story I loved best was the Australian Black Cat squadrons, which were disrupted Japanese forces in the South Pacific by flying night missions. When they'd exhausted their bomb loads and gunfire, they would fly around at night throwing out beer bottles with razor blades jammed in their necks, because the whistle they gave was just the same sound as a falling bomb and would force everybody down to take shelter. Now, Catalina, with its landing gear down this time, demonstrating its amphibious qualities, and as the raises the landing gear, just keep an eye on how long it takes those wheel mechanisms to lock themselves back into the side of the fuselage. It's an immense piece of mechanical engineering.
This one was built in Canada by the Canadian Vickers firm as a G-PBYA Canso, as the Catalina was known in Canada. But today it's in the markings of one of the relatively few OA-10A models that were used by the US Army Air Force in the UK for air-sea rescue duties, picking up downed aircrew. Towards the end of the war, the Army Air Force had wanted the type rather earlier than it managed to get them. Such was the demand for Catalinas from other services in other theatres. Eventually they got a few to serve with the 5th Emergency Rescue Squadron at Halesworth in Suffolk. Now, yes, the nose wheel has retracted. And very slowly, the main wheels do likewise. This aircraft ventures far and wide on the European display circuit. It even went to Russia in the summer of 2012 for the Russian Air Force centenary celebrations. It undertook an expedition to Greenland a couple of summers ago.
Flying and operating it. So if you fancy getting yourself a piece of a flying boat, go to their website, take a look.
Indeed so, all 20 shareholder slots currently filled, but the idea is to gain interest for future ones. And you don't even have to be a pilot. Quite a few of their shareholders, Paul Warren Wilson, the boss of Plain Sailing, was telling me, I'm not pilots, they're just enthusiasts who enjoy being associated with an historic aeroplane like this and going to some very, very interesting places on it. As for the pilot shareholders, they have a variety of experience: private pilots, airline pilots, ex-military pilots, the whole gamut.
It is, and if you want one of the best seats in the aviation house, take a look at what were the gun blisters in the back of this aircraft. Each one of those has a couple of airline seats in it, and you can actually just sit there watching the world go by at a stately 145 knots with 360-degree visibility near enough. Ben, I know you've done it, so I'm very, very envious.
Yes, I did, but only for about 5 minutes from Cambridge to Duxford, and the view we got there was mostly queuing traffic, I think, on the M11. But anyway, the very, very beautiful shape of the PBY-5A out in front of us, and the largely white livery was chosen by Plain Sailing, not least because it's quite useful for putting sponsors' logos on sometimes when they undertake corporate work, which they also do with this aeroplane.
As I've seen this PBYA ever do. This aircraft, of course, is no stranger to flying low because part of its career it spent in south of France and in Canada, in Saskatchewan, as a firebomber, picking up water and then dropping it on forest fires. And when it operated in France, it actually had a blue band around the tail, and its radio call sign was the Pelican Bleu, the blue pelican.